previously injured when fireworks exploded during a festival at Anjutambalam Veerakavu temple near Neeleswaram in Kasargod district on the night of Monday and early morning of Tuesday. According to preliminary investigations, the accident occurred while the annual Theyyam ritual was going on, which had thousands of spectators. Take a look at those horrific visuals and I come back. Crackers were stored, caught fire and went up in flames when sparks fell on what were Chinese-made firecrackers, creating a series of explosions. It was then when the crowds panicked and ran helter-skelter, even as those who had burn injuries started screaming for help. According to K. Inbasekar, who is the district collector of the region, of the area, the temple authorities had not abided by rules and bypassed taking permission to light fireworks. The office bearers have therefore been taken into custody. The injured are receiving treatment at various hospitals in Kasargod, Kannur and Bengaluru. Let me now go across to my colleague Vivek Narayan for more on this story.
Yes,
Vivek, hi. I wanted to know about the updates. And 154 injured. We all know how, the firecrackers called magazine apparently, these were cheap Chinese crackers, and when the sparks fell on them, that created a series of explosions and 9 are said to be seriously injured and receiving treatment. Vivek Narayanan, what else is it that you're hearing on the ground?
In this particular case, there has been a serious flouting of protocols, especially when you conduct these kind of fireworks in a temple, especially when there are a large number of people who gather. There are certain rules and regulations that needs to be followed, especially with the number of people who who gather out there, and also you have a stipulated number of police personnel who are supposed to be there, who has to be vigilant, who needs to take into account all these conditions. But here there has been a serious violation of protocols. First, the point of ignition of the cracker and the storehouse, there has to be a distance of 50 meters that has to be maintained. In this particular case, it was very close. The number two, the people who gather out there, they should always maintain a 100-meter distance from the ignition point of the cracker. But here it was just three meters from where they were standing. So they were standing in a very close proximity, and there were nearly 3,500 people at that point of time. And remember, this particular space in this temple called Veerakavu Anjutambalam temple in Neeleswaram. It was a very small ground which can occupy about 3,000 people managed to gather. Now, when a spark just came out of this cracker, that spark went inside the storehouse and the entire cracker bursted. Now, that is exactly what you're seeing on that small visual, the 2-minute visual, where you can see that you can see an explosion that's happening. And when that explosion is happening, especially is going on there, the festival is going on there, people know that it was an explosion, they just ran. So when they start running, a lot of people were injured in the stampede. Many women and children were also injured. and all of them were taken to the hospital. Remember, this happened at 12:30 in the night, which is practically, if you ask me, it's today early morning at 12:30. And at that point of time, there were no ambulances or vehicles of that time. And then the police personnel had to come. They had to arrange the ambulance, and they had to be taken to various hospitals in Mangalore, in Kozhikode, in Kannur, and even as we speak right now, uh, three people sorry, eight people are critically injured, and all the eight are in ICU, of which one of them is very serious. His burn, he has sustained more than 80% of injuries, which is indeed a matter of concern. But this particular incident has raised very, very serious questions. Because remember, in North Malabar, especially in North Kerala, this is a starting of the festivals. From here on, for the next 6 months, you find a lot of such festivals. But here, how did the temple authorities manage to conduct a festival like this, and that to follow, that to flouting all the norms and regulations? Because remember, you are only supposed to carry firecrackers worth 5,000 rupees, at a place like this. Here, they have managed to store firecrackers worth at least 30,000 to
Oh
40,000
my
rupees,
God, look
and that
at that flouting.
and
You're absolutely right, Vivek Narayanan. He says 5,000 rupees, but here they stored it around 30,000 rupees worth of crackers. And Vivek, correct me if I'm wrong, for the past so many years, or rather let's say months, there has been an argument about storing of crackers, isn't it, close to a temple?
Yes, if you look at the manual, there are clear rules and regulations that's been mentioned. When it comes to storage of crackers. Now, this has become more stringent after the 2016, fire accident that took place in the Puttingal, temple in Kollam, where nearly 115 people lost their life. Remember, even in that particular case, it was almost a similar fashion that the accident took place. When one of the cracker burned, it went and fell into the storehouse, and in that storehouse, there were a large number of crackers that was there, and those crackers, unlike this, were high intensity crackers. In this particular case, remember, Sudha, these are all low intensity crackers now, and that is precisely the reason why the accident, I mean, this fire explosion was contained to this particular level. If it was high intensity crackers that was there, inside the storage house, which means that it could be a huge disaster, similar to that what we saw in Kollam in 2016. But in this particular case, the intensity of the crackers was very low, and hence a major accident was averted. But yes, here 8 people have been taken into custody by the police. All are the temple authorities, Anyutambalam temple authorities, and all of them have been taken into custody, and serious charges, non-bailable charges, have been charged against them. Remember, they have flouted all rules and regulations in this particular case. They don't even have the permission to conduct this festival, and even in the part of the police also there was serious violations. Police was supposed to be there at that point of time. They were supposed to check, whether these norms and regulations were followed. Even they haven't done that. So there are lapses on both the sides, not just the temple authorities, but even on the side of the authorities. I mean, the policemen who are supposed to give clear instructions. Even that has not been done, and hence, only after a clear investigation that you'll get to know what exactly went wrong. But prima facie, what we are understanding is that
Vivek, in Barasan, the district
Yeah.
collector said very clearly that the temple authorities have been taken into custody. So, can we see that as a first step towards the investigation which has been initiated?
Yes, indeed. That is indeed the first step towards the investigation. To what we know is investigation is going on in the right direction at this point of time. But now that a major there has been a fire accident that has been witnessed. Now it's up to the government and the district authorities to
Yes.
ensure that in the coming days all the rules and regulations are being followed, and ensure that no untoward incident happen in similar fashion.
Thank you very much, Vivek Narayanan, for joining us on the opening story. A great tragedy, 154 injured in a temple firecracker tragedy in Kasargod. But like my colleague said, that the police is now hitting the ground running to see that this is averted in the future. The second story on the South Indian, dissidence comes to the fore in BJP Karnataka unit. Ramesh Jarkiholi rebels against state party president BY Vijayendra.
Let yourself flow with the turn of each tide.
Salty winds, you sweeten your ride.
Maharashtra,
Maharashtra, it's a hit.
Maharashtra tourism.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
All right, this is our second story in the South Indian. Dissent in Karnataka, BJP. Ramesh Jarkiholi revolts against State Unit President B.Y. Vijayendra. Dissidence within the BJP State Unit has been brewing for months now and reared its head yet again with former Minister and Party MLA Ramesh Jarkiholi announcing that he shall not attend any BJP campaign meetings for the bypolls until B.Y. Vijayendra does not quit as party state president. He said it clearly, but then also kept his options open as follows. He said, I decided long ago that I will not accept Mr. Vijayendra's leadership. I will not only stay away from campaign rallies, but also other party meetings and functions till he stays in that post. I have communicated this to the party high command. No senior leader has objected to this decision, but then I will go if the High Command asks me to. That's why I said he's keeping his options open. Ramesh also made it clear that he was asked to campaign in Jat, Akalhot and Solapur, but because of his opposition to Vijayendra's presidentship, he had suggested the name of former MP Annamalai Jole to do the needful. In what can be described as open defiance, Ramesh Jarkiholi reacted strongly when he was asked if Vijayendra had sent him an invitation to campaign. Ramesh shot back and said, who's he to call me? Even as he displayed his open appreciation and respect for B.S. Yedurappa, it's the son who is the current honcho of the BJP who has rubbed him the wrong way. Can the BJP afford this open rebellion at a time when the state is going through crucial bypolls? Let's debate, and of course we'll also make you listen to what Ramesh Jarkiholi said during the debate. Mansi Kalapa, political editor of the New Indian Express, has joined us, and also Ramkrishna Upadhyay, senior journalist from Karnataka, has joined us on this debate. A very warm welcome to both of you. I want to first go to Bansi. Bansi, you've done several stories on this, and I've been reading those stories. Were you the one who once said that this is not Ramesh Jarkiholi who's acting on his own volition? it is someone else in Delhi who is actually using his. Do I remember it right, Bansi? Because that shows I read all your stories, Bansi. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you said it
Absolutely.
is, yeah, it is someone else in Delhi who's making this happen. You don't want to name that person? Fine by me. But just let's understand, how come in a cadre-based party, the only state where the BJP had inroads and struggling in every other state in south of India, this is going on openly. He says, who's Vijayendra to call me? I will not go.
Okay, see, we need to understand this very fundamental principle in the Bharatiya Janata Party, that it is perhaps one of the most disciplined parties in India today. So in the Bharatiya Janata Party, if someone can get away with this, it's like somebody getting away with murder. Because for the longest of times, for years, we've seen Basangauda Party Yatnal, in fact, speaking against the leadership and coming out in the media, speaking against the leadership and getting away with it time and time again. Of course, for a long time, nobody even dared question him. But on the occasion that they questioned him, there was no suspension, no serious disciplinary action. He's perhaps caused the biggest embarrassment to the Bharatiya Janata Party until now, all through his utterances in, let's say, the past 3, 4, 5 years. Now, in this instant case, I still maintain that Ramesh Jarkiholi is not alone. He is joined by a few other disgruntled BJP leaders. It could be Basangauda Patil Yatnal. It could be a few others. And they enjoy some kind of a blessing from some important leaders in Delhi. So, in fact, Bharatiya Janata Party, someone like this cannot get away with this kind of a behavior. In a party like the Bharatiya Janata Party, where the discipline is one of the most important in the party.
And at a crucial juncture, all the bipolls, particularly Chennapatna, has become larger than life. I think it is very crucial. Let's listen to what Ramesh Jarkiholi said, and then I go to Ramakrishna Upadhyay.
By election, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗತ್ತೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಹಾರೈಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಆದರೆ ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೋಗೋಲ್ಲ. ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ತೆಗಿಮಠ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೂ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಹೊಂದಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಪಕ್ಷ ಬರಲಿದ್ದು ನಾ ಹಾರೈಸ್ತೀನಿ.
Ramakrishna Upadhyay, let me ask you, if you go through, of course, you follow politics in Karnataka. If you follow this through, you will see he has accused Vijayendra of being corrupt. He's accused Vijayendra of being a result of dynastic politics, but he respects, Mr. Yadurappa. He says he's acting at the behest of D.K. Shivakumar. He's also said, C.P. Yogeshwar, we were the ones along with Yogeshwar, who actually toppled and made, the government of the time and saw to it that B.S. Yadurappa takes over. What do you make of this, Mr. Ramakrishna Upadhyay, considering that Ramesh Jarkiholi has a very kind of a tumultuous political past? What is he intending? He will not become the state president anyway. So what does he want, sir?
Hello, Sudha. Nice talking to you.
Hi.
Ramesh Jarkiholi has never been comfortable in the BJP. He is a maverick politician. And as we all know that during the Lok Sabha elections, he never even campaigned for his own party candidates. In fact, he went and campaigned for the Congress candidate. Of course, that's his own niece, Priyanka Jarkiholi. She was contesting from Chikodi and she defeated the BJP candidate, that is Anna Saab Jule. So we all know that. And in spite of that, no action has been taken against him. Nor any action has been taken against, Basangauda Patil, who has also been a rebel. In fact, he has gone hammer and tongs at Yadurappa and Yadurappa family. And he's also one of the bitterest critics of Vijayendra. And no action has been taken. So, calling BJP a disciplined party is, I think it's a misnomer. It no longer remains a disciplined party. It is as much indisciplined as the Congress or any other party. So I think, this is not going to make much of a difference now in these by-elections because Jarkiholi doesn't have much of a say in any of the three constituencies, whether it's Shigaon or Sandur or Channapatna. I mean, these are constituencies where he doesn't have much of a say. But they are all cut up with, I think what has happened in Channapatna, where Yogeshwar was denied a ticket to contest from Channapatna, and Kumar Swamy was allowed to have his say and put up his son. So it's a kind of a reaction to what the High Command has done, and it cannot attack High Command directly. So Vijayendra becomes the bait. So I think that's how they are doing it. And I'm sure Ramesh Jarkiholi has a long-term plan.
Yeah, that's what we will discuss when we come back. I have to take a break, Ramkrishna and then Bansi, and let me come back and we will discuss that. Why is it that no action is being taken against Ramesh Jarkiholi, even as he is supposed to be a motor mouth now, also Yatnal. See you on the other side.
Cooking is an act of love. The first act of love we receive from our mothers in the families.
Modern Indian food is all about contemporary and innovative approach to traditional Indian cooking.
Representation it's also important, no?
I want to wear this white coat every day and then be a chef.
There are stories. If we name a whiskey's ingredient, then there is a whole story behind that.
Cooking food is like a therapy, and eating one is like a pleasure I can give it to myself. With Lounge Nights, I'm on a journey to celebrate and recognize the best food and nightlife establishments in various cities across India.
Radical presents Lounge Nights every Saturday and Sunday only on News 9 Live. This is News 9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News 9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
All right, that's what we are discussing. Dissent in Karnataka, BJP, Ramesh Jarkiholi revolts against BY Vijayendra. But one is not able to understand that what is it that is protecting Ramesh Jarkiholi. Bansi Kalappa, political editor of the New Indian Express, is with us. Bansi, I want to ask you that, even Ramkrishna Upadhyay said that, no action has been taken against any of them. And he said to say BJP is a disciplined party is a misnomer. But any leader will protest only when he has a larger goal, Bansi. Is it that kind of a harakiri kind of a thing that if I can't become, he will also not be? Is it some kind of amateurish kind of, revolt just to have their own way?
See, if you look at these three constituencies which are due for polls, Ramesh Jarkiholi belongs to the scheduled tribe. Now, how many scheduled tribes are there in all these three constituencies? Channapatna, there are about 6,000 scheduled tribes. Shigami also a very small number. In Sandur, they are a little larger number, but he may not be really important for the Bharatiya Janata Party in all these three places because there are bigger parties. For example, in Shigam, they have the Panchamshalis who are in overwhelming numbers. Here in Channapatna, there are the Bokaligas. And, then we have Sandur. So he's not really, a kind of a game changer. So he's not really relevant for these three bipoles. But the issue here is one of indiscipline. Now, let's understand that Ramesh Jarkiholi is someone who defected from the Congress, who defied the Congress, who jumped ship, who took, 17 legislators with him, joined, brought down the government. And then he's the one who helped B.S. Yediyurappa become chief minister then. If he hadn't revolted from the Congress and joined the BJP, first of all, the Bharatiya Janata Party and Yediyurappa would not have come to power for the fourth time. So which means his connections with BSY are very good. But then there was the scandal in between where he was, very embarrassingly caught in a sleaze tape.
Sex for jobs.
Absolutely. So that particular scandal, some fingers were pointed against some people within his own party. So I won't go into the details of which because this debate may not time for it. So perhaps his anger against Vijayendra to some extent comes from that issue. Okay, so I won't go into the nitty-gritty of it. The main reason why he is defying the authority of Vijayendra is simply because he is now with Basangauda Patil Yatnal and a few other leaders. Even Kumar Bangarappa was one who hosted a meeting.
They all met at his house, no, for dinner or lunch or something. Yeah,
absolutely. So now in a party like the Bharatiya Janata Party, with a situation like this, they would serve them a notice. Because it's very hard to believe that Bharatiya Janata Party with the strongest disciplinary ethics cannot deal with
but
this.
But why hasn't it happened, Bansi? Why hasn't it? Why not?
So my understanding is that they are enjoying some kind of immunity, some kind of protection from some higher ups who are invisible to us. This is perhaps the only way we can understand it. The whole party knows who it is. For us, it may sound very strange, but for the party, they are well aware who it is and why there is no action being taken against them. And I don't want to get into any details on this.
Absolutely. Ramakrishna Upadhyay, I want to ask you that, when you said that C.P. Yogeshwar, who left the BJP and went and jumped ship and joined the Congress party, Bansi said that, it is because of, or rather you said that it's because that, the BJP was not heard, because I remember Yedurappa saying that we leave it to the JDS, we will not interfere in their affairs in announcing the leader. Tell me something. Why is everyone genuflecting? Why was the BJP not allowed to have its say? Why did they let someone like C.P. Yogeshwar, he's jumped like very regularly, but he's won so many times, Ramakrishna. What is the story there? This Nikhil Kumaraswamy, who's lost successfully, successively, thrice at least, there is no hope for that. So what is this mystery also?
You see, I think the problem was that they depend too much on Kumaraswamy in old Mysore areas. And of course, obviously, that was his seat. I mean, he vacated that after he got elected to the Lok Sabha. And probably the BJP leadership felt, that, he should take the call on it. In fact, they tried to persuade him to accept, Yogeshwar as a candidate. But, he was very, very keen on, ensuring that his son somehow gets into mainstream politics. I mean, he put him up in 2019 Lok Sabha election, which he lost to Sumalata by 1.25 lakhs. And then he put him up in Ramanagara, where again, for the assembly elections, and where again he lost. And he himself confident. I mean, Nikhil is not confident. So that was the reason why he was not able to announce his name for the longest time. But then he doesn't want to even, allow Yogeshwar to come in and then occupy that seat. I mean, you see, this family has the, they think that they won all constituencies and they need to be everywhere.
But, Ramakrishna, the thing is that maybe JDS, Vokaliga belt, I mean, Chennapatna, and also C.P. Yogeshwar has a big win because he himself is a Vokaliga. But one doesn't understand that because the BJP has slighted, and let go of C.P. Yogeshwar, that this man Ramesh Jarkiholi, with a very, very dubious past, and also, if I remember right, there some money was exchanged also. Of course, sex for jobs was also, there was an allegation against him. I understand all his maybe anger. Maybe he's frustrated. But what I don't understand is when he says another thing in the BJP, corruption, dynastic politics. He says this Vijayendra is corrupt. Where is that coming from?
Well, Bansi has been keeping you in suspense as to what is his power set from Delhi, which is supporting him.
I know.
Let me put the cat out of the bag. It is no one else other than B.L. Santosh. Everybody knows that Santosh is a big player in Delhi. He is also from Karnataka. In fact, in the last assembly election, he had a very large say in the candidates that were selected, and which BJP lost very badly. He brought in about 75 new faces, and the whole scheme of his, bombed spectacularly. So that's the reason why he has taken a back seat. But he will not just go away. He is from Karnataka and he's very close to both Modi and the Home Minister. So that is where these people are drawing their power from. And Satish Jarkiholi is also. I mean, the family is together. This Jarkiholis are in all the three parties, but they play politics, which suits the family. So I'm sure he has a long-term view of what he wants to do and where he wants to be. He's now, I think, putting one by one in a jigsaw puzzle. He's putting this thing, and we'll have to see where he ends up at the end of it.
Ramakrishna, today we invited BJP spokesperson. They've all refused to come. What does that prove? That it's a controversy for them because they always come and talk about cadre-based. They talk about discipline. They talk about we are not dynastic politics, perpetrators, etc. But today they all refused and said we've been asked to stay away from any kind of a debate on this. So I think even if it doesn't hurt them in these three constituencies which you and both Bansi explained, but the point of the matter is it is a black spot on them because it's been going on since the day Vijayendra sat in that chair. And that is the time, you are an expert and I read your columns, but then you go back for the past 6 months, we have seen every time both Yatnal as well as Mr. Ramesh Jarkiholi are throwing one stone or a major, any other kind of allegation against them. Thank you so much. I've completely run out of time. Bansi Kalappa, I think we've lost connection to Bansi, but Bansi, thank you. As always, Ramakrishna Upadhyay, thank you very much for joining us on this debate. Thank you indeed. And the next story, which is coming up on the South Indian, BJP leader and state unit president K. Annamalai encourages busting of crackers during Deepavali, says one day of revelry won't cause much impact on the environment.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
Who am I?
Nobody can crack that mystery.
There is a certain expectation of me.
That's the only contradiction.
Life itself is stranger than fiction.
I was a perfectly normal person born in an abnormal world.
I really didn't understand why is it different.
Just imagine a child who is bullied every day.
Boys school में कुछ लड़का लोग मेरे साथ sexual abuse किए.
मुझे तेरे बारे में सब पता है और मैं तेरा रेप कर दूँगा.
You also start to stigmatize.
अरे ये तो time pass है.
Sex doesn't come in the picture. Sex comes later. Then they are a man-made narrative.
Why do you walk like that? Why do you sway so much? So you can understand the trauma of a person who's trapped in a wrong body.
But nothing can bind life.
We have to reclaim the lost position. We fought for more than 10 years. Today I'm the mother of the industry. I'm a first transgender member judge.
You can't walk in everybody's shoes.
This is what I'm comfortable with.
They just are what they are.
You become the light yourself.
That is the change that I was looking for.
When I recognize myself, it's a small story, but it's an interesting one.
So that's the next story. Annamalai supports bursting of crackers this Deepavali. BJP leader or the chief of the BJP in Tamil Nadu, K. Annamalai, has exhorted people to buy and burst a lot of firecrackers on the festival of Deepavali and argues that it shall be beneficial for the workers involved in the fireworks industry. I agree. No doubt about that. Annamalai posted a video on social media platform X explaining the need to burst crackers. He argued that lighting firecrackers was India's culture and a day's revelry on the occasion of Deepavali won't impact the environment much. Do I agree with him? Maybe not. Annamalai also argued that bursting of crackers was beneficial for the welfare of workers, of course, which I said earlier. He also said that earlier sale of crackers hovered around 6,000 crores annually, but in the past few years it had fallen. Annamalai urged people to buy more crackers because he said that it's a vibrant industry and the people who work in it need to also enjoy the fruits of this great celebration, and also the livelihood of around 8 lakh people depends on the firecrackers industry. Let's take a look at the video which was shared by Annamalai on the same topic on platform X, and then I come back.
ஆனா இதுல பட்டாசு வெடிக்கிறது ஒரு பிரச்சனையா நம்ம பேசுறோம். வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு நாள் வெடிக்கிறது கூட. ஆனா உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், எனக்கு தெரியுங்க, நம்ம பட்டாசு வெடிச்சாதான் இங்க பல பேருக்கு அது ஒரு நல்ல வாழ்க்கையா இருக்கும். இந்த காணொளி நீங்க பாப்பீங்க. இந்த பட்டாசு தொழில்ல நேரடியாகவோ மறைமுகமாகவோ கிட்டத்தட்ட 8 லட்சம் பேர் சம்பந்தப்பட்டிருக்காங்க. நம்முடைய சந்தோஷத்திற்காக அவங்க பட்டாசு தயார் பண்ணி கொடுக்கறாங்க. எத்தனையோ இடத்துல பல இன்னல்களுக்கு மத்தியில் இந்த பட்டாசு தயாராகி நமக்கு வருது. அவங்க சந்தோஷத்திற்காக, அவர்கள் வாழ்க்கை நன்றாக இருக்க வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக கூட நம்ம பட்டாசு வாங்கி வெடிக்கலாம் இல்லைங்களா? பட்டாசு தொழில் நல்லா இருந்தா தாங்க அதை நம்பி இருக்கக்கூடிய மற்ற தொழில்களும் நல்லா இருக்கும். பிரிண்டிங் பிரஸ் தொழில் எடுத்துக்கங்க, அதிலும் இன்னைக்கு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு. தீபாவளி பண்டிகைக்கு நம்முடைய மாமா, மச்சான், அண்ணன், தம்பி, அக்கா, அண்ணன் எத்தனையோ பேர் ஒரு சின்ன கடையை போட்டு கடன் வாங்கி அதன் மூலமா கடன் அடைச்சிடலாம், இந்த பட்டாசு சீசன்ல அடைச்சிடலாம்னு ஏக்கத்தோடு ஏங்கி இருக்கக்கூடிய லட்சக்கணக்கான சிறு வணிகர்களுடைய கனவு கூட அதன் மூலமாக நிறைவேறும்.
Do you agree? Maybe partially, maybe not. Because we have to look at the long time impact of bursting crackers even for one day. Vetri Selvan, environmental activist, is now joining us on this debate. Vetri Selvan, thank you so much for joining us on this debate. Do you agree with what he says? Because I've done a lot of stories where there are no safety measures for workers who actually are involved in the manufacturing or making of firecrackers in Sivakasi and other places, and how many deaths have happened. Successive governments have spoken about safety measures. Nothing happens. They also employ little children in making matchboxes. I mean, I'm not saying livelihood is not important, Vetri Selvan, but do you agree with what Annamalai is saying? Burst it for one day, and Mr. Annamalai, I think, is abroad, so I do not know whether it will impact him.
Certainly, I don't agree with him, and even the Supreme Court doesn't agree with him. What he has been propagating is against the orders passed by the Supreme Court. So he should be, what do you say, inquired under the contempt of the Court Act. Actually, the Supreme Court has given guidelines that crackers, the usage of crackers should be, it should be phased out. And we should be allowing only green crackers, which will have lesser impact to the atmosphere and environment. So that is the guidelines given by the Supreme Court. And as far as when you're talking about the manufacturing industries and other laborers, as you have mentioned, there are many deaths. Recently, there was a data up to 2024, there are about 42 accidents happening in Tamil Nadu with regarding to the fire industries, and nearly about 17 accidents has happened and 42 people have died. I belong to Virudhunagar districts, and Sivagasi is very near to my hometown, and I know what's happening and what are the safety measures given to that people. They handle all the hazardous and very harmful chemicals with their bare hands. They don't even have any gloves. They don't have any proper mechanism when they're handling this kind of
Vetri, I want to Vetri. Right. So you spoke about those, Vetri, who are involved in making these firecrackers. Please focus on environmental hazards. Green crackers, Supreme Court has said. Every year, Muka Stalin writes letters to North Indian states like Rajasthan, Delhi, saying you should buy crackers. Why? Because the Tamils sit there and make crackers. You know the situation in Delhi, right? The AQI level is dangerously high. And the same goes for many North Indian states. That being one, Tamil Nadu is not doing very well. You can't say that because Tamil Nadu is better than Delhi, let's burst crackers for a day and ruin the environment. Don't you think one day of bursting crackers will impact those who are asthmatic, animals, old people, everyone?
This is what exactly the Supreme Court said. Even burning crackers for a single day is causing more effect to the environment and the atmosphere. The WHO, the World Health Organization, says that around 2 lakhs people are dying because of the air pollution in India. So that's the latest data we are talking about. Even in Tamil Nadu, we have many polluted cities. Even our Manali, which is in the capital of the Chennai, is the highest polluted area in the entire country. So air pollution is the scenario of the entire country, and this kind of burning of crackers will always increase the danger of polluting more environments. So that's why the Supreme Court formed a committee and examined the case, how far it is scientifically related because of the burning of the crackers, which is leading into the more number of air pollution. They passed order. The order of the Supreme Court was passed after examining the committee's report with regarding to the crackers, which says that usage of many chemicals like the barium and some other chemicals and other kind of nitrates are results in the pollutions of more environment and other aspects. That's why Supreme Court take the drastic
Vetri Selvan, I've also
banning the crackers.
Vetri Selvan, I've also found that, you know, even within a limited time, like you can burst crackers from, let us say, 7 in the evening till 10, that also creates a lot of damage. And Mr. Annamalai is giving us emotional trips. This is not cinema. Oh, let's all get together, you know, brother-in-law, everyone, children. It's a festival, it's part of our culture. And also saying that how, you know, 8 lakh people are employed in it. Those poor things, 8 lakh people actually die early and they have lots of lung diseases, I've heard. I do not know how true it is. Their fingers are ruined. I do not know what he's saying, but even within the time limit of it, don't you think, Vetri Selvan, it creates a lot of damage, considering it's from 7 to 10, even then?
Yeah, when we are having a population of around 110 crores and banning of crackers over 100 crores of people in a single day, at a single hour, that pours into tons and tons of hazardous and other smokes in the atmosphere. So that even for burning crackers within few hours has its more impact on the environment. For example, in last year when the Pollution Control Board's air quality index, which reached to its highest level at the night of Diwali, it reached its highest level of the readings. So that is what's happening within few hours of burning of crackers. It's not the how many of hours, how many. It's regarding to the how many tons of pollutions we are dumping into the atmosphere. Because we are a hugely populated country, and burning of crackers by more number of people within a short period will also have a heavy impact on the atmosphere as well as our air quality and other environment and other biospheres. So that's the greatest danger. So the idea is that
Vetri Selvan, so you are saying that you don't agree with K. Annamalai because he's making it part of culture. I don't know what culture is he talking about. If he's talking about a particular community, he doesn't know that every community bursts crackers in their respective festivals. Like you can have, you know, I've seen in Tamil Nadu, I'm a Tamil, that, you know, the Christians also, when there is Christmas, they will burst some crackers. Not all of them, some of them. Crackers bursting by weddings, we burst crackers, don't we? We do. So the point is that this whole culture and part of family and all this, I think he has a very myopic view. I think, I mean, you being an environmental activist, Vetri Selvan, I'm sure you don't agree with this kind of a argument of K. Annamalai.
Yeah, the gunpowder was invented by the Chinese. I don't know how it became our culture. Right? They were the first person to use the gunpowder. So we are burning crackers for the past about 3 decades or 4 decades. Earlier, before that, we don't have this kind of large quality of crackers burning by us. So it's never been a part of our culture. The Deepavali, which means in Tamil, we used to call it Deepavali. That means the festival of lights. You can have small pieces of lightning happening in there. So that's how we have been enjoying celebrating Diwali age together. So it's never part of our culture. burning crackers is never part of our culture. And the Supreme Court is very much clear for each and every person the ban will apply. So it's not, the judgment is not restricted to one particular community or the other particular community. It treats equally all communities. But even for private parties and even private economy. Yes.
On that note, Vetri Selvan, Deepavali Varthukal, like we say in Tamil, Mika Nandri for joining us on this debate. Thank you indeed. Our next story, which is coming up, BJP ally TDP, wary of delimitation, says policy needs to be reworked and concerns of Andhra Pradesh need to be addressed. That's our final story. TDP, wary of delimitation, needs a relook. Now, let's not forget that Chandrababu Naidu's TDP is an integral part of the NDA. This is their view. Now, the centre is expected to begin the next census in 2025 and the delimitation process will start by 27. However, like I said, Telugu Desam Party has said very clearly that the delimitation policy should be reworked and the concerns of Andhra Pradesh should be taken into consideration. Several states in the south of India have flagged their concerns that if 2026 delimitation was done based on population census, it would reduce the representation of southern states in parliament. Now, TDP MP Lavusi Krishna Devaralayu said, and I quote, Andhra Pradesh shouldn't lose out on seats and political representation. We've done well in population policy and we shouldn't be punished for that. Government sources are telling us that following the decadal census, the delimitation of Lok Sabha seats will commence and the exercise is likely to be completed by 2028. Naidu and his counterpart in Tamil Nadu, Muka Stalin, are advising people to have more children. And that has once again put the spotlight on delimitation and its fallout on southern states with lower population indices. There is a fear among southern states which have successfully controlled population growth that a reconfiguration based on current census data could drastically cut their representation in Lok Sabha. There are reports that Tamil Nadu and Kerala taken together may lose 16 seats if the Lok Sabha seats are redistributed across states. The report also says that northern states may gain more than 32 seats, while southern states may lose 24. And as promised, I leave you with the other top headlines from the south of India. Thank you for watching. Vanakkam.